Hi everyone! So a while ago I was in Romania, where I was invited by their lovely LEGO user group, the RoLUG, to the, sorry if I butcher this one, Cantuccino castle. And this is a very idyllic castle. It's high in the mountains, and it's just beautiful, both the castle and the view. And it was also the location where they recorded the Wednesday series, I think the exterior shots. So it was a really idyllic, really amazing location. And again, thank you to RoLUG for inviting me yet again to one of their competitions. So, what was the competition about? So, the RTXP, the RoLUG Technic Xperience, was divided in 4 categories. First we had the trail trucks, followed by track racers, buggies, and finally mini racers. So I'm just gonna quickly talk about each category and how well my models performed. First we had the trail trucks, and this model performed quite well, though it does have a weak point with the steering. So I tested this and it seemed fine, but I guess I didn't test rough enough because if you shake it too much, the pin pops out, and this is what happened at the end of the race. The steering link popped out and I lost steering ability of the front wheels. But thankfully, because I had independent left and right wheel drive, I was still able to maneuver my vehicle and get through the gates. So what did I learn? I learned that I cannot rely on axle pins on their own. So I remove the wheel, you can see this more in detail. I cannot rely on this connection itself. I will have to rely in the future on normal pins that click in, and I can also, just to be sure, insert something into the pin just to make it hold a bit tighter. Another thing I learned is that I do not really need the independent front and the rear wheel drive, and that I can just replace the powered up / power function motors with 2 buoys motors, which will allow me to have a much higher speed. It was one of the slower trucks, I'm afraid, and that this is not needed. So 1 motor for left side, 1 motor for right side. Keep it simple and it should work. So the model was okay. Besides those weak points I mentioned, the suspension was really nice, especially in the rear. You can see how the shock absorbers keep moving. So I'm definitely gonna keep this kind of suspension style for future models. And the same with the front. Having a shared shock absorber means that it's much easier to go over terrain. You don't have to compress shock absorbers, so you don't lose any energy on that. So I would rate my trail truck, I don't know, some 5-6 out of 10. It can be better, but it's not the worst. Next we had track racers. And for track racers, we were racing down a quite steep hill, and well, as you can see, mine ended more on the side than going forward. The problem is I made it too tall, so I gave it too much ground clearance, and in the end the center of gravity was way too low, and it just ended up overturning and rolling and doing multiple barrel rolls. I think I should get an achievement for that. But yeah, it was too high. And another thing, which is a problem with more or less all the track vehicles, is suspension. As soon as you have suspension, it is really hard to keep the tracks in tension. If you have the tracks at too high tension, you're gonna have a lot of friction, which will reduce your speed and efficiency. But if you don't have enough tension, the tracks will fall off, and that also happened to mine. Thankfully, I had independent drive for the front and the rear side of the tracks, but as soon as you lose, track on one end, you lose half the power. And yeah, this was also a recurring problem, not just for me, but for lots of other people. And this is something that I plan to work on in the future model. I have a very innovative idea, and I will let you know when I test it. So for the track vehicle, I'd give it like a 5 out of 10. It looks great. It was quite fast in a straight line, but when it came to going over obstacles or on the slopes, it just kept flipping, and the tracks were quite problematic. So yeah, I need to work on my tracked vehicles. Next category on the similar track, of course, we had the buggy racers, and this is actually one of the models that I'm most proud of because it actually performed well. Would you imagine that? It is one of the few models that actually used powered up / power functions components. So I did. There are also some models that use the old RC hubs. Anyway, this was one of the few models that used the powered up system, and it proved really reliable. And I just had a really good combination of torque and speed, and it allowed me to be one of the fastest models there. And it was also one of the rarest models, rare few models that actually also made it back up the hill.
Is your body also trial truck?
I guess so. Yeah, let me just climb back up.
That's so unfair.
Why?
Because my trial truck didn't do this climb.
So yes, this was one of my best models, and I rated 9 out of 10. And I think I was one of the fastest competitors at that competition. So, whee! And finally, we had the mini racers. I was expecting the mini racers to be racing on a flat surface, but unfortunately we ended racing on a very rough asphalt patch, and because of the low body work, I did lose a few parts and everything, but the main thing, the chassis survived. So the all-wheel drive, the steering, everything proved very reliable, even though the driver was a bit, let's say the driver skill was a bit low because I kept hitting the rocks and the truck from the white truck and things like that, and I kept losing points on that. The chassis itself proved very reliable. I had no mechanical issues, but the wheels stayed on, and it was a good test of this new chassis concept using 4 white tires and all-wheel drive, and it showed that I can make a good reliable mini racer after all this time, and that I will use this base and upgrade it in the future. I'm thinking that I can improve the steering to reduce slack in the future, and who knows, maybe I can fit another Buies motor to have independent left and right wheel drive. But as it is, the fish proved really good, very reliable. The only problem was the low bodywork, which of course I will also try to improve, so to have a more higher ground clearance for next competition if I get surprised by uneven terrain. But other than that, I would give the fish a rating, let's say 7 out of 10. It was really reliable, and I dare to say it was one of the better looking models on the competition. So that's regarding competition. Again, I would like to thank the Romanian LEGO user group for inviting me. Besides the contest itself, I had a lot of fun just socializing and nerding around, talking about Lego bricks, the techniques, the company and everything. It was really nice. You guys are really awesome. So yeah, thank you, and I wish you a nice day. Bye bye.